Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros.
What if I told you that one footballer, one single human being who kicks a ball for a living, has spent more money on cars than most countries spend on their entire national road infrastructure? Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't just collect cars the way normal people collect sneakers or watches. He collects cars the way a museum collects priceless art, except his art does 0 to 200 miles per hour. We are talking about a collection so enormous, so jaw-droppingly expensive, that the total value sits somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 million. And we haven't even gotten to the car that makes every other car on this list look like a used Toyota. Who is Ronaldo, the car collector? Now, before we dive headfirst into this automotive paradise, let's establish something important. Cristiano Ronaldo is not a casual car guy. He is not the kind of person who wanders into a dealership on a Saturday afternoon and picks something sensible in silver. No, Ronaldo approaches his car collection the exact same way he approaches football, with an obsession so intense, so relentless, that it borders on the genuinely superhuman. With a net worth estimated at well over $1 billion, Ronaldo is one of the wealthiest athletes to have ever lived, and a very significant portion of that wealth, a portion that would make your accountant physically dizzy, has been poured directly into some of the rarest, fastest, and most breathtakingly expensive automobiles ever produced on this planet. He reportedly keeps his cars spread across multiple properties, including his lavish estate in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where he currently plays for Al Nassr, and his legendary mansion in Portugal. Sources close to the footballer have confirmed that a dedicated garage facility, purpose-built, climate-controlled, and almost certainly better furnished than most people's living rooms, houses the crown jewels of his collection. And here is something that tells you everything you need to know about the man. Ronaldo once said, and I quote, "I like fast cars," which is perhaps the greatest understatement in the history of human language. Let's get into it. Number 10, 2009, Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport. Estimated value, $1.7 million. We begin at number 10. And look, I want to be very clear about something. When Cristiano Ronaldo's 10th most impressive car is a Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport, you already know this list is going to be something extraordinary. Most people would retire happy having owned just this one car. Ronaldo has it sitting at number 10. The Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport that Ronaldo acquired is finished in a striking two-tone red and black color scheme. Not exactly subtle, but then again, this is a man who once wore a shirt that cost more than a family saloon, so subtlety was never really on the agenda. The Veyron Grand Sport is powered by an 8-liter 16-cylinder engine. Yes, 16 cylinders, because apparently 12 just wasn't enough. Producing 1,001 horsepower. It can launch from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.5 seconds and reach a top speed of 253 miles per hour. When it was released, it was the fastest production roadster on the face of the earth. Bugatti produced only 150 examples of the Grand Sport, making it extraordinarily rare, even by the standards of the ultra-wealthy. Ronaldo reportedly paid around $1.7 million for his example. At number 10, the man starts where most people could only dream of finishing. Number 9, 2019, McLaren Senna. Estimated value, $1 million. Named after the greatest Formula One driver who ever lived. And yes, I will die on that hill. The McLaren Senna is a car so extreme, so aggressively focused on performance, that McLaren literally made it ugly on purpose. The aerodynamic requirements of this machine were so demanding that beautiful design had to be sacrificed at the altar of pure, merciless speed. Ronaldo's McLaren Senna is finished in a custom green shade, a nod, whether intentional or not, to the iconic green helmet of Ayrton Senna himself. A nice touch, a very nice touch. Under the engine cover sits a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine producing 800 horsepower. The Senna rockets from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and has a top speed of 211 miles per hour. But the raw numbers don't tell the full story. The Senna produces so much downforce at speed that it could theoretically drive upside down on a ceiling, which is something most of us will thankfully never need to test. McLaren built only 500 examples of the Senna. Ronaldo's is worth approximately $1 million. And at number 9, it still doesn't crack the top half of his collection. Number 8. Rolls-Royce Phantom. Estimated value, $500,000. Every serious car collection needs at least one Rolls-Royce. It is practically a legal requirement at this level of wealth. And Ronaldo, being nothing if not thorough, has obliged with a Rolls-Royce Phantom finished in a deep, commanding black that makes it look like it belongs in a motorcade. Now, the Phantom is a different animal from everything else on this list. This is not a car about speed or lap times or 0 to 60 figures that make your palms sweat. The Phantom is about presence, authority, the automotive equivalent of walking into a room and having everyone immediately stop talking. The Phantom is powered by a 6.75-liter twin-turbocharged V12 engine producing 563 horsepower. It will carry you from 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, which for a car weighing nearly 3 tons is frankly miraculous, and cruise at a top speed of 155 miles per hour. But nobody buys a Rolls-Royce Phantom to go fast. They buy it to arrive. There is a meaningful difference. Inside, the Phantom features hand-stitched leather, a Starlight headliner containing over 1,000 hand-woven fiber optic lights, and levels of acoustic insulation so thorough that the cabin is reportedly one of the quietest places on Earth. Quieter than most libraries. Quieter, almost certainly, than Ronaldo's own living room after Portugal loses a penalty shootout. Number 7. Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. Estimated value, $330,000. Here is a car that proves you don't always need to spend 7 figures to own something genuinely magnificent. The Ferrari F12 Berlinetta is, by almost universal agreement among automotive journalists and enthusiasts alike, one of the greatest front-engine sports cars that Ferrari has ever produced. And Ferrari has been producing great front-engine sports cars since before most of us were born. Ronaldo's example is finished in red, because of course it is. The man is Portuguese, he plays football, and he owns a Ferrari. Red was never not going to happen. The F12 Berlinetta is powered by a naturally aspirated 6.3-liter V12 engine, no turbos, no electric assistance, just pure combustion fury, producing 730 horsepower at 8,500 revolutions per minute. It screams to a top speed of 211 miles per hour and dispatches the 0 to 60 run in 3.1 seconds. What makes the F12 truly special is the sound. The noise that V12 makes as it builds toward its red line is, and I am choosing these words very carefully, genuinely emotional. Car journalists have been known to get misty-eyed. Grown adults have been reduced to silence. It is the kind of engine note that reminds you why internal combustion engines exist and why we should be slightly sad that their days are numbered. Number 6. Lamborghini Aventador LP700. Estimated value, $500,000. If Ferrari is the sound of operatic beauty, the Lamborghini Aventador is the sound of something considerably less refined and considerably more exciting. The Aventador LP700 is Lamborghini at its most Lamborghini. Angular, aggressive, dramatic to the point of absurdity, and utterly spectacular in every conceivable way. Ronaldo's Aventador is finished in a matte black, which on this particular car has the visual impact of a stealth fighter jet that somehow learned to navigate public roads. He was photographed arriving in it at Manchester United's training ground during his time in England, and the assembled photographers quite literally stopped what they were doing. When a car makes professional photographers forget to take photographs, you know you have something special. The Aventador LP700 is powered by a naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12 engine producing, as the name rather helpfully suggests, 700 horsepower. It hits 60 miles per hour from a standstill in 2.9 seconds and reaches a top speed of 217 miles per hour. The 7-speed single-clutch automated manual gearbox fires off gear changes with the kind of mechanical violence that makes passengers instinctively grab for something to hold on to. Number 5. 2021 Bugatti Chiron. Estimated value, $3.5 million. And now we arrive at the point in this list where things get genuinely serious. The Bugatti Chiron, successor to the Veyron, heir to one of the most extraordinary automotive thrones in history, and a car so comprehensively extreme that describing it in ordinary language feels slightly inadequate, Ronaldo owns a Bugatti Chiron, finished in a stunning blue and black two-tone configuration, a color combination that the factory calls a Chiron Sky View. And it is exactly as spectacular as it sounds. The Chiron is powered by an 8-liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine, 4 turbochargers, 16 cylinders, and the engineering confidence of a company that simply does not accept the concept of limitations. Producing 1,479 horsepower. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds and has a theoretical top speed of 290 miles per hour, though it is electronically limited to 261 miles per hour for the very practical reason that no tire currently in production can safely handle what happens beyond that point. Bugatti built 500 examples of the Chiron. Ronaldo paid approximately $3.5 million for his. He has driven it in public on multiple occasions, which, given that the car is worth more than most apartment buildings, suggests either extraordinary confidence or a very comprehensive insurance policy, possibly both. Number 4. Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita, estimated value $4.8 million. Now, here is where this list takes a turn that separates Ronaldo's collection from virtually every other celebrity garage on the planet, because the Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita is not just rare in the way that Bugattis and Ferraris are rare. It is rare in a way that makes those cars look positively mass-produced. Koenigsegg built exactly 2 examples of the CCXR Trevita, 2 on the entire planet, and Cristiano Ronaldo owns one of them. The name Trevita means 3 whites in Swedish, a reference to the car's extraordinary exterior finish. The body is coated in a proprietary Koenigsegg material called the diamond weave, a carbon fiber coating that has been infused with a diamond dust compound that causes the entire surface of the car to shimmer and glitter in direct sunlight, as if it has been dusted with actual crushed diamonds, which, in a manner of speaking, it has. Underneath that extraordinary exterior sits a twin-supercharged 4.7-liter V8 engine producing 1,018 horsepower on ethanol fuel. The CCXR Trevita accelerates from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds and has a top speed of 254 miles per hour. When it was produced in 2009, it was the most powerful production street car ever built. Forbes magazine once listed the CCXR Trevita among the 10 most expensive cars ever sold, with a purchase price of $4.8 million. Floyd Mayweather previously owned one example. Ronaldo owns the other, which is, and I realize this is a strong statement, possibly the most extraordinary automotive flex in the history of celebrity car collecting. Number 3. Bugatti Centodieci, estimated value $9 million. Let me pause here and say something out loud that I think needs to be said. Ronaldo owns 3 Bugattis, 3 separate Bugattis, at a combined value of somewhere north of $14 million. I want you to sit with that for a second. Most human beings on this planet will never see a Bugatti in person. Most car enthusiasts will never get close enough to touch one. Ronaldo apparently looked at one and thought, you know what, I'll take a few. The third Bugatti in his collection is the Centodieci. The name means 110 in Italian, marking the 110th anniversary of the Bugatti brand. And right away, before we even talk about the engine or the price, let's talk about how this car looks. Because the Centodieci might be the single most visually aggressive automobile in Ronaldo's entire collection, which, and I cannot stress this enough given everything we have already seen on this list, is an almost incomprehensible thing to say. The Centodieci is a love letter to the legendary Bugatti EB110, one of the rarest and most ferociously valuable cars ever to exist. But where the original was a product of the early 1990s, the Centodieci takes that DNA and rebuilds it with the kind of aerodynamic extremity that makes you wonder whether the designers ever slept. Every crease, every vent, every surface on this car exists for a reason. It doesn't look styled. It looks engineered to within an inch of its life and then styled around the engineering. The result is something that sits in a visual category almost entirely by itself. Bugatti produced exactly 10 examples of the Centodieci for the entire world. 10. The billionaire waiting list to secure one of those 10 slots was, by all accounts, extraordinary. Ronaldo got his, reportedly paying $9 million for the privilege. $9 million. To give you a sense of scale, that is enough money to purchase approximately 27 brand new Lamborghini Aventadors. 27 Lamborghinis. Ronaldo spent the equivalent on a single car that sits at number 3 on his list. Remarkable doesn't quite cover it. Under the bodywork, the Centodieci runs the same 8-liter W16 engine that powers the Chiron, but tuned considerably further, all the way up to 1,600 horsepower. That makes it more powerful than the already borderline unreasonable Chiron, with a top speed of 236 miles per hour. It is, in every measurable sense, too much car. And Ronaldo owns one. Of course he does. Number 2. Pagani Huayra. Estimated value, $2.6 million. In a collection absolutely stacked with Bugattis and McLarens and Lamborghinis, cars that essentially communicate their importance by setting fire to your eardrums and your bank account simultaneously. The Pagani Huayra does something genuinely unexpected. It whispers, and somehow, in all that noise, the whisper is the loudest thing in the room. Because while almost everything else on this list is defined by horsepower figures and top speed numbers and 0 to 60 times that make your vision blur, the Pagani Huayra is defined by something that is considerably harder to manufacture and considerably harder to quantify. Artistry. Pure, obsessive, almost irrational artistry. Horacio Pagani is an Argentinian-Italian engineer and designer who founded his company on a philosophy that the automotive industry at large had largely abandoned, that a car should be as beautiful as it is fast, and that beauty requires the same rigorous engineering discipline as performance. He does not build cars the way Lamborghini builds cars, or the way Bugatti builds cars. He builds them the way a master watchmaker constructs a movement by hand, component by component, detail by detail, with a level of obsessive attention that most manufacturers simply cannot justify commercially, and most designers simply do not possess naturally. Every single material used in a Pagani is chosen not just for its functional properties, but for its aesthetic contribution. Titanium bolts are machined to look beautiful. Carbon fiber weaves are selected for their visual texture. Even the parts you will never see have been considered. Ronaldo's Huayra is finished in a silver and blue two-tone exterior that works in extraordinary harmony with the car's bodywork. A flowing organic form that somehow manages to look simultaneously futuristic and deeply classical, like something ancient and something not yet invented occupying the same space at the same time. Every panel has been considered and reconsidered. Every vent, every crease, every surface transition exists, because someone at Pagani decided it was not yet perfect and kept working until it was. Under the engine cover sits a twin-turbocharged 6-liter V12 engine developed in partnership with Mercedes-AMG, producing 730 horsepower. It reaches 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds and has a top speed of 230 miles per hour. But honestly, and I mean this sincerely, the performance figures are almost beside the point with this car. The Huayra is a rolling sculpture that also happens to be one of the fastest road cars ever built. The speed is almost incidental. Here is the detail that puts everything in perspective. Pagani as a company builds approximately 40 cars per year, across every model, every variant, every configuration. 40 cars for the entire world. Ronaldo paid $2.6 million for his, and it is worth every single cent. Number 1, Bugatti La Voiture Noire. Estimated value, $11 million. And here we are, the car that tops the list. The crown jewel of what is almost certainly the most extraordinary private car collection in the world of professional sport. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bugatti La Voiture Noire. La Voiture Noire. The black car. It sounds like the name of a villain's vehicle in a French spy thriller, and honestly, that is not an entirely inappropriate description. Because the La Voiture Noire is the most dramatic, the most expensive, and the most jaw-droppingly exclusive production automobile that Bugatti has ever offered to the public. And Bugatti, as we have firmly established by this point, does not do anything by half measures. Bugatti revealed the La Voiture Noire at the Geneva Motor Show in 2019. The car was created as a tribute to the legendary Bugatti Type 57 Atlantic, widely considered one of the most beautiful automobiles in the history of motoring. Only 4 Type 57 Atlantics were ever built. One of them vanished, literally disappeared, destination unknown, during the Second World War and has never been recovered. Car historians refer to it as the holy grail of automotive collecting. The La Voiture Noire is Bugatti's attempt to create something worthy of that legacy for the modern era, and they have succeeded in a way that is difficult to overstate. The car is finished entirely in gloss black. Every panel, every surface, every millimeter of bodywork, with 6 exhaust pipes emerging from the rear in a configuration so dramatic that simply looking at a photograph of it from behind is a genuinely arresting experience. The body is made entirely from carbon fiber, sculpted into forms that manage to be both brutally aggressive and hauntingly beautiful simultaneously. Power comes from the by now familiar 8-liter W16 engine, producing 1,500 horsepower. The La Voiture Noire is capable of reaching speeds that, frankly, no public road could ever legally or safely accommodate. Bugatti produced one single example of the La Voiture Noire, one car, for the entire world. The price tag at the time of its unveiling was 11 million euros, approximately $11 million depending on the exchange rate, making it, at the time of its sale, the most expensive new car ever sold in automotive history. The identity of the buyer was not officially confirmed by Bugatti. However, multiple credible automotive publications and investigative reports have named Cristiano Ronaldo as the owner. And when you look at this list, when you see the pattern of obsession, the escalating exclusivity, the relentless pursuit of the singular and the extraordinary, it is honestly very difficult to imagine anyone else. $11 million, one car, one owner, the most expensive new production automobile ever sold, sitting in the garage of a boy from Madeira, Portugal, who grew up with almost nothing and decided somewhere along the way that he was going to be the greatest at everything he ever attempted. And that, right there, is perhaps the most extraordinary thing about Cristiano Ronaldo's car collection. It is not just a collection of expensive machines. It is a statement, a declaration written in carbon fiber and titanium and 8-liter 16-cylinder engines that says, in terms that require no translation in any language, that this man did exactly what he set out to do. From a Bugatti Veyron at number 10 to the La Voiture Noire at number 1, Ronaldo's garage represents something that goes far beyond wealth. It represents an appetite for excellence that simply does not recognize a ceiling.